Hello everyone, I'm Tony. Today we will talk about the water energy. Before I introduce the kinds of water energy, let me talk about the principle of hydroelectric power. Water energy is first converted into mechanical energy by a turbine and then converted into the electrics by a generator. Next, I will introduce the kinds of water energy. The first and most common one I want to talk about is the hydroelectric dam, which is powered by the movement of rivers. As is shown in the pictures, many rivers have already built hydroelectric dams. The second one is wave power. Wave power uses special buoy or other floating device to get the energy from floating waves. But this kind of water energy is the most unstable and irregular in ocean energy. The last one is tidal power. The tidal rush in and out to make the energy. Let's play a video to know more about the tidal energy.
Tidal power. Tidal power is a form of hydropower that converts the energy from the natural rise and fall of the tides into electricity. Tides are caused by the combined effects of gravitational forces exerted by the moon, the sun, and the rotation of the earth. Tidal plants can only be installed along coastlines. Coastlines often experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides on a daily basis. The difference in water levels must be at least 5 meters high to produce electricity.
In 2004, about 1 in 5 of the world's electricity supply is from hydroelectric power. But in 2011, hydroelectric power decreased to 16% of the world's electricity supply.
Hi, I'm Mickey. Next, I will talk about the type of hydroelectricity power. So the first kind is that conventional hydroelectric. It's referring to the hydroelectric dams, and it is the most common type of hydroelectric power generation. Most hydroelectric power comes from the potential energy of dammed water, driving a water turbine and a generator. The power extracted from the water depends on the volume and on the difference in height between the source and the water outflow. The height difference is called a head. A large delivers water from the reservoir to the turbine. The second part is a run of the river hydroelectricity, which captures the kinetic energy in the river or streams without a large reservoir and sometimes without the use of the dams. The third part is called the small hydro project. The projects are 10 megawatts or less and often have no artificial reservoir. Small hydro is development or hydroelectric powers on a scale serving a small community or industrial plant. The definition of small hydro projects varies, but a generating capacity of up to 10 megawatt is generally accepted as the upper limit of what can be termed small hydro. Small hydro station may be connected to the conventional electrical distribution networks as a source of low-cost renewable energy. Alternatively, small hydro projects may be built in isolation areas that would be uneconomic to serve from the network, or in areas there were no national electric distribution network. The fourth part is called micro hydro project. It provides a few kilowatts to a few hundred kilowatts to isolated homes, villages, or some industry. It is a term used of hydroelectric power installation that typically produce up to 100 kilowatts of power. This is the installation can provide power to an isolated home or small community, or sometimes connect to the electric power network. There are many of these installations around the world, particularly in developing nations, as they can provide an economical source of energy without purchase of fuel. The fifth part is called Conduit Hydroelectricity Project. It can utilize water which has already been diverted from the use of elsewhere, such as a municipal water system. The sixth part is called pump storage hydroelectricity. It stores water pumped uphill into a reservoir during the period of low demand to be released from the generation when demand is high or system generation is low. This method produces electricity to supply the high peak demand by moving water between the reservoir at different elevation. At the time of low electrical demand, the existing generation capacity is used to pump water into the higher reservoir. When the demand becomes greater, water is released back into the lower reservoir through the tubing. Pump storage scheme currently provide the most commercially important means of large-scale grid energy storage and improve the daily capacity factor to the generation system. The last part is called pressure buffering hydropower. It is used nature source, for example waves, for water pumping to the turbines, while existing water is pumped uphill into the reservoir and released when income water flow isn't enough. It is a compilation of run-of-river and pump storage hydropower generation.
Large hydro, greater than 30 megawatts, small hydro, 100 kilowatts to 30 megawatts, and micro hydro, less than 100 kilowatts. The Hoover Dam in the United States is a whopping 2,074 megawatts, which is enough to serve 1.3 million people. Of all renewable energy sources, hydropower holds the largest share of worldwide electricity production. Hydropower has several benefits. It is a cost-competitive form of electricity, even though the initial building cost can be high. It is quite reliable compared to other renewable options and pairs well with other sources as it can be used as baseload power. In some cases, dammed reservoirs can also help with flood control and be a reliable water supply for communities. There are also some concerns with hydropower, especially when it comes to large dams. Damming a river has a major impact on the local environment, changing wildlife habitats, blocking fish passage, and often forcing people in riverside communities to move out of their homes. In addition, dam failures can be catastrophic, claiming the lives of those living downstream. Hydro plants are also not completely free of greenhouse gas emissions. As with most forms of energy, carbon dioxide emissions happen during construction, particularly due to the large quantities of cement used, and plant matter in the flooded areas makes methane, another greenhouse gas, as it decays underwater. That's hydropower.
Hello, my name is Ray, and I'm going to talk about the benefits and drawbacks about water energy. The first one, benefits. Water energy is regeneration continuously. Water is a renewable source of energy that can be recycled year after year. Other energies such as oil and natural gas are all consuming energy, which is mined year by year, and the surplus is getting less and less. The second one, low cost. Large and medium hydropower stations generally only need 3 to 5 years to recover the full investment. Operation management staff generally less than 1/3 of the terminal power is sufficient. The third one, no pollution. Different from fossil fuels such as coal, oil may produce some harmful gas. They can cause environmental problems. And last one, other proposals other than power generation. Hydropower stations usually have flood control and comprehensive economic benefits of irrigation, shipping, beauty the environment, tourism, and so on. And drawbacks of the water energy. The first one is unstable. Hydroelectric power do not need fuel but need water. When an area of extreme dependence on hydroelectricity power supply, if the currents of drought and water decreases, the area will have a power shortage situation. The situation is even more serious if both power generation and domestic water use the same source. And second one, population migration. Living in the upstream will be flooded land cover of the population to be migrated. In 2000, global and migration have a population of 4,000 to 80 million. The third one, limited position. Not suitable for the construction of any reservoir, in addition to appropriate water and terrain. Also need to consider a range of factors, including geological structure, the impact on the natural environment, the impact on local residents.